Time for some Mobile Legends.
Definitely, it's been a long day for everybody, right? Including the producers and the players as well. Don't forget they've been playing all the way since the start. But of course, you know, it's like kind of the meme of RSGPH with Ira, right? The meme of him was resting well in PH. A good rest is also, you know, a first step of success, right? That's what I keep hearing some of my friends tell me. But anyways, ladies and gents, we're gonna go in first game. This is the draft coming in. Todak going in first pick.
So we start with the Valentina ban on the side of AP BREN and the Fanny by Todak overall. And I think one of the things we come into the series is the fact that we don't really know too much about four of their players. I think it not only poses a question mark to us, but also to AP BREN. But we can kind of base it off of the only series that they played previously, right? Against Big of Alpha. You look at the pick, I think one of the standouts is definitely the Dyrop, which they do put in on Formace in the XP lane. They also did pick the Esmeralda and the Sicilian as well. Those could be the X factor, but I'm not sure how long or how far this can carry them.
Yeah, absolutely right. Because there's not a lot of information going around. You can see how AP BREN is doing, right? Banning away, you know, the standards, right? Like for example, the Valentina right off the bat. Todak, on the other hand, already starts targeting down on the Fanny. You know, I am expecting a Joy to follow suit from the side of AP BREN. Just ban away all those standards. Maybe ban away the Arlot. Some just take away all the meta heroes from the pool. But no, they're going to look at the Kadita as well. Another of the staples is coming out, taken away by AP BREN.
Yeah, as much as we say that, you know, Todak, it's kind of like a fresh look, like a fresh cut. But,
I see lots of
AP BREN, they were like, I like your cut, G, but I'm going to ban out the Kadita. And why are they getting banned out? It seems like that there might be a remake in terms of the draft, right? Maybe we're going to kind of fix some of the tricks a little bit, so there will be a remake of the lobby. Don't worry, nothing much was lost. I think it's safe to assume that the Fanny and the Valentina are going to be the constant and everything else will be a full reset. But the Kadita ban, I feel like it might come true, you know, in certain situations, because that's what this Todak played as well.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, just now before the announcement from the producer that we're going to do a remake, right? I can hear literally the Layla voice line going, ready, go. I'm like, yeah,
oh, yeah.
we're remaking. Yeah, we're definitely remaking.
We're definitely remaking.
And don't ask me how I know Layla's voice line well.
How many games of Layla have you played?
Ever since I saw MPLMY sporting the Layla into one lane, I decided to bring it around low
dang
mythic. It's actually quite funny.
It's definitely a Todak. It's definitely what Todak did to you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie,
just
after
the Todak effect, right? It's the
I also
Todak
play
effect.
Layla, right? I also play Layla after that. The thing is, I'm not a big fan of playing gold laner. I'm more of an XP, jungle, roam. Okay, I play everything as a gold lane. All right, but
yeah, I'm on the other side of you, right? I play everything but EXP.
Fair enough, fair enough. I do enjoy EXP. You know, I enjoy winning the lane on my own, but you know, I always fall into the win lane, lose game group. So that is the least fun part. But we hope that the issues will be resolved, you know, as soon as possible to give these guys a good experience. I think for Todak, it means a bit more time for the coaches to kind of talk to them and kind of prep them, right? I think the mentality is very important coming into this series. I know you can say that, well, there are a bunch of new bloods, there's nothing much to lose, but you also kind of have to take this as if you're playing, you know, for the trophy, even though you're kind of new to the stage.
Yeah, it's just practice, right? It's just like like what I said, baptism by fire. But of course, something also that Coach Ducky was mentioning during the interview when they finished one series against Archive was that they're learning mostly of the mistakes, because don't forget, MPLPH in 2 seasons in a row, they're consistently fourth. But this is also a team. AP BREN is also a team that actually has a very strong performance outside MPLPH. So I think this is AP BREN just saying that, okay, look, we really need to produce results. We can produce results. We just need to do it in our MPL and then looking at M5 next.
Yeah, and again, AP BREN, they were straight up invited to the challenge stage, right, where you just kind of play this, you know, this group double elimination format to get into the challenge finals. And then you look at AP BREN's result, it's 2-0 against Bleed and 2-0 against Archive Esports. So I think some people might argue that, well, they kind of had the slightly easier route compared to teams like what Aura Fire had to go through, Blacklist International and Big Alpha. But I'd say overall, the fact that we have a roster that is made up a bunch of veterans who just took down Onyx, that could give a bit more validation to AP BREN itself.
Yeah, so you have two pros going for both sides, right? You have Todak is coming in with a lot of X factors. We don't know a lot of information about them. Same could be said over to the other side of the coaches. And then you also have AP BREN, who's got off from a win from the champion of MSC, and of course with a couple of champions from the different tournaments, right? They are on a roll right here. They're on the momentum. However, this is something that I also learned recently, right? A machine that has been running perfectly for the past 6 months, let's say for example, may run out faster. Are they running out of steam? We need to take a look whether they can actually maintain the stamina, because it's also a very long day for all of them already.
Absolutely, especially for BREN, right? They they kind of play on the later times of the day. But we're gonna jump into the draft once more. We had it fixed. So the Valentina Fanny, that one, like mentioned earlier on, was a constant. We see the Ling banned out by Todak, the Yeet banned out by AP BREN.
Yep, still like what I said, Valentina, Yi, these are your safe mages, right? But then again, Todak looking to trim that mage pool even more. That's going to be a fire mist taken away. And then this is just basically Todak saying that I'm not looking at your Ube style anymore, AP BREN. You gotta have to try and find something else.
We've seen a couple of farmers pick, right? And I think I had this conversation with Gideon back in the Open Finals, and I had this conversation with Cloud just now, where farmers, thanks to some of the previous nerfs now, putting him in the roam role definitely feels a little bit more iffy. We saw that from BREN Flash, that didn't work out. And do you think that it's still essential to the Ube strat, or we're just going to fall back to the Estes?
I think Faramis is just being annoying, right? Then there's also the Estes that's still prevalent in the meta. However, there's also another new flavor to the Ube. Right now, you start to see MPL, some of the PH teams starting to bring the Florin along the ride as well. So maybe you can see that from AP BREN. But don't forget, AP BREN might also pull out, a mid-lane Fredrin as well that we've seen in other tournaments at the same time. Now, Todak this time around will secure the first pick. That's a Kadita first pick right off the bat.
Yeah, I've seen a mid-lane Joy before. Mid-lane Joy, mid-lane Bane. So I think there are lesser things that can surprise me, but it's still going to be nice to see it. Kadita first pick by Todak. Just now the last pick from AP BREN was the Kaja. One of the few times you see Kaja being first base taken out. Aside from a side in the series against RSG Singapore, but there's still a couple of good opening picks, right? I think Fredrin is one of those staples that you can just pick up and just leave him there until you need him. But the Martis and the Novaria would be the choice.
Oh, just really just jumping the gun right here, coming out from AP BREN. Arlot is also wide open as well for them to take. Surprisingly, they didn't go for that. You mentioned that the fact that Todak would take that instead. And then with the Novara in the hands of AP BREN and also the Martis, this Martis usually now going into more of an assassin jungler role. I don't think you'll factor into EXP lane. However, I can be wrong if AP BREN decides to be a little bit more creative. Now, Todak, on the other hand, this Fredrin could also be flexed into the EXP role. And now you also have Claude. So Todak has reviewed their cards that they're going for Claude, and then now you see immediately AP BREN locks in the Uranus. Now Claude going up with Uranus, this kind of matchup doesn't look pretty good during the team fights.
Yeah, at least in the early to mid game, right? Uranus is going to be very annoying as always. That's his job. He's going to cut waves, he's going to bully you out of lane. He's just going to keep healing and waste your time and resources in this team fight. And I liked how AP BREN, they're also taking away the Franco, right? We don't want anyone to lock him down and start dealing damage to him and not allowing him to pop the consecration and run circles. So it is kind of that you get rid of the fail-safe for Todak, but we've also seen this hero being picked a couple of times and losing out because you just get shredded by heroes like Claude in the late game.
Yeah, definitely. I feel AP BREN takes away the Franco this time around. It's a good ban because looking at the draft roster right here, I don't think they have anybody to basically match up with the Franco, right? They don't have enough burst. Novara in the early game doesn't really have that burst. He needs a couple more items for him to pop. And then Joy gets tagged in right here. This is a ban from AP BREN that says that I have no information about you, so I'm gonna ban away the safest picks and the meta picks, right? Todak, on the other hand, this kind of ban means that that, I think I know what you're up to just a little bit more. Ban away the Ling, the Fanny, now banning the Melissa, maybe looking to trim the marksman pool even more. Ban away, I believe, either the Leslie could be good, or just ban the vanilla ice cream. Just take away the B-Chicks because, B-Chicks really strong, prevalent in this meta. But no, they go for the carry instead to counter ban against that Frederick.
Yeah, so no tank shredder for AP BREN. Could this be an opportunity, an opening for Todak to say, you know what, we're gonna run the Dyro for 4 minutes to game, right? With Uranus, we can kind of deal with it with the Dyro, one of the best, shredders early on. They want to play it safe. There's the Esmeralda as well. You just kind of, and you, what was that? A Starlium Sight, one of the latest items. Just kind of bump Esmeralda up in the pick priority a little bit. I feel like it's something that they can consider, right? AP BREN going for the Minotaur.
I think they could consider that, but then again, you've got this Minotaur. Now, I think they really need to find a way to deal with this Uranus. But speaking about all the X Factor, that's an export. Going in for the side of Todak, just going over off guard because no one, absolutely no one, export. And now there's an Edith going in for the hands of Todak, and that's just the deal. Fredrin going to the jungle, export going to EXP. That's a Roam Kadita, mind you. Sorry, Roam Edith, my bad.
Alright, so Edith, I understand, right? We've seen Edith every now and then, most of the times in the XP lane. I think I've only seen her once in the mid. But take me through export. Used to be a very annoying, super strong XP laner, fell off completely, and now we see on Todak's side. Leslie will be the last pick for AP BREN, but I want to center on this export a little bit. What are we looking for in this hero?
I think it's all about bursting people down, like finding the Leslie, right? They're just preemptively, no matter what marksman you decide to go for, I'm just going to send an export down down your throat with a last insanity. But at the same time, it's something that could always easily wave clear against the cuts coming off the Uranus. So it's something that could match the cutting of the Uranus. Initially, I was agreeing with you, right? Maybe Foreigns could also bring out the Zyraf against the Uranus. It actually worked well against lane, but the Uranus role in this particular patch, it's not about just laning, it's about just cutting the waves. So how do you respond someone that could cut your waves and then rotate is to clear faster than the person that's cutting you, which is from the exports flamethrowers.
I suppose there are a couple of solutions, right? I think we saw Paquito, we saw an attempt with Paquito, we saw an attempt with Guinevere. I think at one point I also was thinking of Benedetta. Xbox definitely slipped my mind, so I am very intrigued to see how this export is going to function. I mean, if we are looking at 4 mates to match this Uranus in that XP lane, right? We're just playing the cut. I will cut your wave, you will cut my wave. What happens from that mid to late game? What is the function of these two heroes? Because here it is, we're in game 1 already. Todak against AP BREN.
Forme is going in for the focusing mark instead. That's something very interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Usually you expect raise mind and the Festival of Blood so that he could just heal out of control. But no, this guy's going focusing mark. So which means that when he goes in, spreading last insanity, everybody gets bonus damage marked on top of them. So I think Formes, this is like a pseudo-ish support kind of export that's coming out. Martisi on the other hand, lethal ignition, that's 8 okay. So going into the later part of the game, like what I was talking about, right? It's just about clearing the waves faster than the other side and then coming in for the flank. Like how Uranus would do it and like how the export would do it with the last insanity. Comparing with the export and the Uranus, export has more kill potential.
I mean, you say the focusing mark, right? Hazelnut also has a focusing mark, so it's all about literally playing as a team. I guess it also makes a lot of sense, right? You have very easy ways to apply the focusing mark export with the last insanity. You feed it with the passive. There's the chain lightnings. They are gonna start bouncing. It's gonna allow the claw to start dealing massive damage with that ultimate. We saw that early on, the gold trap stolen away by 4 mates as well. But AP BREN putting a lot of emphasis in the mid side. Kautizi already at level 4.
And what we're on the topic of export, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna bite onto that doggedly right there. Forbase went for tenacity instead of Festival of Blood. So this guy is not focusing about, regenning and life heal. That's a problem, like, especially when you go up against TZ. Look at him. Already still healthy, nice and dandy, but for me, on the other hand, still will have to be a little bit careful in these trades.
For first blood, Formace over the wall, last 70. Not enough damage to finish off left TZ. Gonna try to burn him down, but it's just not sufficient. Uranus walks away, gonna hit that level 4 soon, and once he does, all those damage dealt by Toda will be negated. Turtle down to less than half. We see the actual Echo used as well. Hazelnut with the flip. He's gonna lose level 4 just in time with the concentration. As AP Band takes the Turtle, they do lose left easy. First flip to Hazelnut, but instantly traded back by the Martis. Caltisi finds a double. The decimation resets to the B dead. Not able to find 4 maze, but AP Band looks a little more.
Yeah, Martis, you know, having the CC immunity on his second skill, still coming into play right there. Martis trying to catch him, but no, Formis still duking up against Caltisi.
Yes, playing with literal fire and gets sniped from off screen by Few. What do I say? When you are up against a Novaria, even if she's not on the map, you have to be careful.
Man, it was just crazy plays coming up from AP BREN right there, right? Like, you can see how no matter how much CCs that Toda want to pour onto Caltisi is immune to CCs, takes the turtle and walks away. So that's basically living out the AP BREN brand, right? Now, Toda with this 2 kill in the favor of Caltisi, but now 4 mates will having the spawn trouble, 2 men on top of him.
The war of Caltisi, thank you to Aggro, and Caltisi says thank you for the killing spree. That's almost the entire gold shield taken out. Caltisi back to wave cutting duty. And I hate to say this, but I know it's only 3.5 minutes in, but this is already not looking good for Toda.
Yep, 3.5 minutes in, and you're like, what, 2k gold lead in the favor of AP BREN, and then you also got a snowballing Caltisi that's snowballing out of control. You got your top side already gone as well. There's a lot of bad news that's piling up, you know, the notification box on the side of Toda. But oh, that's a nice petrify.
Lovely stuff by Martini, taking out Super Marco. AP BREN looking for some sort of response. Still looking for a snipe. That one's gonna go wide just a little bit. I mean, at the end of the day, good you got to Leslie, but you kind of need more if you're Toda. They are gonna try and come back for round 2, but the actual Echo is gonna deny that. They increase hitbox, allowing Oko to knock them out slightly easier, so Toda
yeah, like right now, it's pandemonium for the side of Toda, right? 4 mates is actually just trying to salvage anything they can do, but you see Caltisi walking away, but using the red tree just for that one, but Hazelnut, ooh, a little bit low.
Yeah, tries to go for the knockup, ends up losing most of his health. Left Easy is sticking onto him like elephant glue as Caltisi will do with Martisi. He's gonna cut him in half with that big scissors, as they even lose Hazelnut in the process. Left Easy finds that kill. AP BREN uncontested at Turtle.
It's crazy the fact that Toda 4 mates actually forced the retreat out of Caltisi, but Caltisi calmly walks over to the turtle, knowing that he doesn't have the priority, yet still gets a turtle and gets to walk away with that.
And this Caltisi is now going to continue to invade by 2 levels ahead of Malik. And while his team is busy fighting, he's going to try and take the orange buff away, no problem. Now level 9 as Martisi tries to go for full burst and doesn't end up getting few. He phases through the wall. Taunt is going to be there. Martisi dropping low. Slaptisi on top of him and with the mortal coil. Over the surest wave, excuse me, Caltisi with the kill. And AP BREN, they are out of control right now.
Out of control, literally there's no economy left for the side of Toda, right? AP BREN just denied every single thing. Now Caltisi just having free access to the side of Toda. Oh, big hurt.
Right, big knockup for the Minoan Rage. And the rest is basically history. All good delivers a double to Super Marco.
Man, it's looking very bleak for the side of Todak right off the back, right? Like, you've got a Claude that needs to scale into the late game. Look at how AP BREN is denying it. They're not allowing that Claude to go in. And speaking about not allowing that Claude, Malik just gets constantly pushed out. FlapTZ is not even cutting the waves. He's cutting the jungle away from Todak.
You call it deforestation, I call this absolute starvation right now. AP BREN, asphyxiation, right? There's nothing left for Todak.
Asphyxiation.
There it is, FlapTZ again. This holy planetary figure. I mean, he's having fun. This game kind of feels like it is already set in stone at this point. Just a result, 6.5k in AP BREN's favor.
Yeah, you talk about 6.5k gold in AP's favor, but then look at Marco. Super farm up. He was just silently farming on the other side of the map. Now, even if, you know, Caltisi fall off in terms of priority as what the Marcos would be in the late game, you still have Super Marco to deal with. So Todak right here need to scrounge out as much gold as possible. This is what Malik and Fomis is trying to do down bot. But then again, you know, they just try to hunt it down, but they do not have the high ground because, you know, they don't really have the wave clear to clear up against the onslaught coming up from AP BREN.
This will be a free turtle for AP BREN. Third of the game.
Once again,
Caltisi takes quick work of it. Early on, we saw the carry ban by Toda just to protect the front lines, right? I mean, they're doubling down on the front line, tripling down, in fact, with it. But TD is going to be taken out. Constellation prize for Toda to try to defend this. Yeah, I mean, we saw the carry ban, but I think they definitely kind of let the Leslie slip through. But another problem is that how do you get to the Leslie? How is Toda going to deal with Super Mako?
Yeah, like you've got Ogre to Pew, you've got Kaltizi that you need to worry about, and then you got Pew to suddenly just chunk down your HP, half HP, right? Now, Tonak taking down Uranus down bot is 8, okay, like what you said, it's a consolation prize, but you can see how AP BREN is actually punishing it, right? Take down top side is already cleared out, and now Formate's a little bit down low, you know, with the Astro Echo just showing Formate's location, he has to back off.
And just like that, this entire mid wave is surrendered. You have Kaltizi, who is just standing in between the two turrets, and just scaring you away.
Absolute Giga Chan. Yeah. Absolute Giga Chan. His mere presence is zoning people away. And Toda knows not to tangle with Kaltizi. You try to stun him down, he can just second skill CC immunity and laugh away, right? And now, at the very least, Toda finally found out that they can have enough items to burst down the Uranus. So maybe they can try to make something like that. So basically farm up using that Uranus, right?
I suppose, right? You just treat him as a, I wouldn't say a main course, but when you have the chance to take him for money. Easier said than done though, right? He just completed the Oracle. Even harder to burst. A lot of these damage comes from Arteezy himself, so it's going to continue to be a bit of a problem. He has to purify. Now he has, obviously, Uranus, his abilities allowing the Q, as always. The AP BREN, they are starving this entire tier of Kodak's side. Trying to Flapteezy again. Marteezy will not even attempt to show himself.
Flapteezy don't even use the Purify, but now he may have to force to use it right here, but Flapteezy gets pushed down.
I don't think they have enough damage, honestly. Flapteezy was like, but man, what are you doing? Thank you for the back scratch. As they immediately get rid of the Kadita, and AP BREN, they're back to business.
And not only just that, look at Flapteezy, he's already at full health. You thought he got busted down. You saw how Toda need to use every single tool in their arsenal just to burst down Flapteezy, but Flapteezy just laughs his consecration, and he's back to full health once again. It just like, it felt that team fight done by Toda, that catch, it did not happen at all.
Yeah, I mean, again, right, the Oracle makes so much of a difference for this Uranus. Now AP BREN, they are on the Lord. Malik sees this happening, but not anymore. They have found him, and oh boy, Super Marco on top of him. They are just gonna unleash all the damage. Genos tries to help, but gets hit by the Astro Echo instead. Malik will rush away. Hazelnut is gonna be there to protect him, and still gets sniped by Super Marco. Without the jungler, this Lord is pretty much done. AP BREN, they're not in a rush. Formage trying to set them ablaze, but this fire is fizzling out very, very soon. In fact, Flapteezy is going to put his body in front and tank up every single damage output from Toda and still survives. Formage with one last attempt to get the Lord, not going to get it. Kaltizi with the red tree to secure that objective, and AP BREN runs down Toda.
Yeah, literally the last insanity. That's the only thing that Formage could try to do. Contest for the Lord. Just use the last insanity and just pray hard, right? Pray hard. Kaltizi misses the retry, but this is AP BREN. You cannot out retry this guy, right? So Toda just nothing that they can do, right? They can only hope that Claude actually comes online quicker, and then maybe just try to wave clear as quickly as possible from the safety. And look at Flapteezy. He's setting up house right in front of Todak's space.
I mean, the only way for Toda to win that is in a team fight, AP BREN's phone suddenly disconnects, right? That feels like the best way for them to win. But with that aside, I mean, oh my goodness, the Piraga armor got destroyed in 3 shots. Marteezy loses half his health with 1 Astro recall. The Lord is punching down the top inhibitor. That structure is already gone. AP BREN, they didn't even knock, they just decided to claim this house as their own.
Yeah, they just punch down the house or the door and then just start marching and trampling the carpet with like muddy shoes of their own and say, hey, this is my house now. Where did Jimmy's go?
Where did he go? He just disappeared. And AP BREN, they're like, alright guys, it's time to clean up the rest of Toda. The mid inhibitor down. All good is low. Kaltizi burning. While that was happening, they did lose Kaltizi. Hazelnut unfortunately loses his life. Immortality used by 4 mains, it flickers to safety, but AP BREN have already torn down the last of the inhibitors. And AP BREN looking at this, Super Marco, eyes on the prize, gonna try and farm 4 mains, to try and disrupt him from hitting the crystal. For the rest of AP BREN, they will finish what they came here to do. 12 minutes and 13 seconds. The teams that face off Toad so far have made absolute mincemeat of them.
Yeah, this is like a speed run, right? I think this was the fastest game that we ever had in Snapdragon Series 4, day number 1. But apart from that, you saw the game ended with a 13k gold lead